In South African science news, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research says there's a possibility of acid mine drainage in the Waterberg area in Limpopo if coal mining commences. CSIR researcher James Davorsky says water in the Waterberg area is very scarce. However, there are schemes that sufficient water will be provided.
We do need to consider things like climate change, how that may impact on the availability of water in the future, and we need to really make sure that there's every effort is placed on maintaining and managing any mining activities that take place there so that they minimize the impacts of the activities on the water quality in the catchment.
And medical practitioners and experts in the field of maternal and newborn care Northwest have vowed to keep fingers on the pulse of maternal and neonatal care to better the lives of mothers and babies. According to the World Health Organization statistics, as many as 1,500 women die every day due to complications related to pregnancy and childbirth. The Citrus Growers Association of Southern Africa says the 8 billion industry faces uncertainty following stricter import requirements imposed on Wednesday by the European Commission. According to the CGA, the local citrus industry earned 8 billion in foreign currency and provided 120,000 jobs on which 1.2 million people were dependent. The emergency measures were taken to protect European crops from citrus black spot, a harmful plant disease not native to Europe. In 2013, South Africa was the world's biggest exporter of oranges and the largest shipper of grapefruit.
Once the product arrives at the EU waters, we have food and safety inspectors which will have to look at the products. But the starting point will be what the South Africans will have to do before the products are being exported to the EU. And we are very clear in what was adopted today. We are asking the South African authorities to implement some very stringent measures when it comes to controls before the products are being exported.
And on to international news. SpaceX unveiled an upgraded passenger version of the Dragon cargo ship NASA buys for resupply runs to the International Space Station. Rather than parachuting down into the ocean, the new capsule is outfitted with beefed-up motors and landing legs to make precision touchdowns on land. NASA is expected to select 1 or 2 space taxi designs this summer for final development and test flights. Researchers have found that having a baby alters new mother's brain activity, and a new study adds the first evidence of such changes in the brains of gay men raising children they adopted through surrogacy. The men's pattern of brain activity resembles that of both new mothers and new fathers in the study. Staying with research, another study has shown that climate changes that have made Montana streams much warmer over the last 30 years are helping invasive trout push their native cousins towards extinction. The study, published in the latest edition of the journal Nature Climate Change, shows evidence that a warming planet could increase biodiversity by supporting crossbreeding between invasive and native species. And finally, NASA unveils Earth Day Global Selfie, a mosaic of more than 36,000 pictures uploaded to social media showing people and places around the world in commemoration of Earth Day, the U.S. Space Agency said. NASA asked people on April 22, Earth Day, to upload pictures tagged with hashtag Global Selfie to social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Users on every continent and 113 countries or regions, including Antarctica, Yemen, and Peru, joined in. After weeks of collecting and curating the more than 50,000 submissions, the so-called Global Selfie was released.